What's up guys, this is Legit Strategies here, and today I've just got a video where I'll be reviewing Battlefield Hardline. As a lot of you know, my channel is really based around COD, so if you're not too sure about Battlefield Hardline, you could still watch this video anyway, or you could just click away from it. But it would definitely give you a good insight of what the game is like, and might help you make your mind up on whether you want to buy this game. It has been out for quite a bit now, but if you're still trying to make your mind up, you can definitely check out some of my montages on it as well, and this review should help you get a quick insight at it. So over the years, Battlefield has traditionally kind of had large maps with really skilled players who could dominate the game. It's actually something that has often kind of thrown me off of the game, because I'm not really that good at Battlefield, but I've always been more of a COD player. And I've only really started enjoying it recently. It's kind of felt a bit intimidating, obviously, with the large maps and the really good players. So with the release of Hardline, I finally felt I might have a way to get into the series and see if it is different to all the other Battlefields. So Hardline kind of moves from the traditional Battlefield to a more cops and robbers type effort. It's still a team-based first-person shooter, but with more focus on good versus bad rather than a standard war-based setting. For the most part, it seems to work, depending on which mode you play. So Hardline does have the standard multiplayer games such as Conquest, Large and Small, where your team has to take control of marked areas for a longer time than their opponent. There's also Team Deathmatch, which needs no explanation really. And there's some new modes that attempt to kind of set Hardline apart from the other games. And in this respect, it is kind of a bit of a hit and miss. Heist and Hotwire are the two dominant modes from the outset. Heist plays you as either a cop or a robber, with the objective to either successfully carry out a heist or prevent it, depending on which side you are on. As a robber, you need to blow up vaults and steal the money in a certain amount of time, and as a cop you need to take out the robbers and prevent them from being able to steal the money. It's not too different from a Conquest type game, except that you don't actually defend and conquer points, but it feels like the same kind of element as you center on a specific point to carry out the activities. It's kind of fast paced and fun to play, but doesn't actually feel like anything overly fresh or innovative. Hotwire does actually offer something new, but is also based on similar ideas to Conquest if you really break it down. The idea here is to find certain marked vehicles, capture them, hotwire it and hang on to the vehicle for as long as possible. The great thing about Hotwire for me is that it isn't just all about how many people you kill, but points are scored for hanging onto a vehicle for a long time. The maps for Hotwire work really well with it, and having a crew inside your car hanging out the window and shooting enemies is nothing more than pure joy. It does again have that feeling of getting to a point and securing it, but at least you can drive around while holding the point down. Blood Money feels a lot like Heist, with a bit of a change. In Blood Money there's an open vault, the robbers are trying to get the money back to their vault, while the police try to recover the money. You can get cash from the main vault in the middle, or if you're brave, you can head into the opposition's vault and take it back from there. Blood Money does a great job of keeping the action quite contained, but it doesn't have the fun factor of Heist, Hotwired, or even Conquest if I'm completely honest. The other modes didn't really impress me that much. Rescue is a 5v5 mode, where you're either keeping the hostages and trying to kill the police, trying to save them, or playing as the police and rescue the hostages. The maps really don't lend themselves to this mode that much, and it is a bit dull. Crosshair is another 5 vs 5 game, where one player is a VIP who has defected from a criminal gang. The police have to try evacuate him from an area while the criminals try to kill him before he speaks to the police. It feels very similar to Rescue in the way it plays out. Both modes only give you 1 life per round, so it can be over pretty quickly. Neither of these modes had me dying to go back in for more, but they were still quite fun. Hardline definitely has some great things going for it. I don't think I've found a game so easy to get into before and just jump in. It was really quick just to jump into a game on any mode, and playing with a squad of friends was just as easy. There's really not much lag on the game from what I noticed, and games were fluid and ran quite well. There's also plenty to upgrade and unlock the more you play for the 4 different classes. Each class can also be divided between criminal and cop, resulting in a double amount of upgrading. It can be a bit annoying at first, but once you get into it, you will unlock guns, armor, gadgets, and a whole lot more. The different classes have more than enough variation in them to enjoy each for different reasons, but again, nothing that is overly different from other shooters. The sound is really good throughout the game, with newscasters setting the scene for each situation, and while it does become a bit repetitive, it is a nice touch. The in-game sounds are pretty standard from a Battlefield game, and does a good job of setting a realistic tone to the game. The maps at the moment are slightly limited, and it kind of feels like you keep playing the same ones over and over again. Obviously the Levolutionary stuff is really good, so even though you play the same maps, it feels different each time because of the interactive features. And I was definitely impressed with how the map changes based on things going on around you. I was less impressed with the visuals as a whole. Sometimes it looks really good, but there was a lot of background pop-up which I found kind of frustrating and made spotting enemies at a long distance kind of difficult. I also found areas which were pixelated way more than I would have expected from a new gen game. I know a lot has been made of resolutions in games, and it's definitely not all about the graphics, but that said, I still found Hardline to be a little disappointing in this regard. So Battlefield Hardline's multiplayer as a whole is an enjoyable experience, definitely a very different one to what you might expect from the series. For some this might be seen as a disappointing change, while others like me, who are more used to the COD style of play, will find it a more welcome change. It definitely has some great action without really breaking any barriers, and if nothing else it's guaranteed fun. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this review of the game, guys. I hope it didn't bore you too much. If you have enjoyed, make sure to leave a like. Definitely leave a comment letting me know what you think about the game if you have played it and if you're thinking about getting it. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this.